that.
Well, I mean, we better get the Buzz and the Zippy Zap.
Whoa.
The old zippy zaps.
Zippy Sappy, Flippy Slappy, Archangel Angel Eyes? I can't remember how that goes.
Flippy slappy.
Hey.
Zippy Zappy, Flippy Slappy.
Well, I think we're old here. I think this is what's going on. Is just Joe has got something those young kids are into.
No, it's just some of that. It's just some of that weeb shit. Don't worry about it.
I don't like the mental imagery of slippity slappity. It's just...
No, not flippity slappity. Slippy slappy.
There's no T in there.
Let's be very clear with what we're discussing here.
This is very knife related. I don't know what you're talking about.
Man, this knife's a little slippy slappy. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to start using that as a description. Whenever it's a Joe knife, this knife is a little too slippy slappy for me. It's
No, that makes me very happy. That's fantastic.
I don't even know what the second part of that saying was, other than slippy slappy. I don't care. You don't have to tell me. I'll just stop it there.
Well, I did say zippy.
I assume flippity flappity.
Zippy zappy, slippy slappy.
Flippity.
I don't know. I don't know what zippy zappy would be, to be honest. Like maybe like it's one of those batons, the spring loaded batons with the electrical arcs. That would be zippy zappy for sure. Also, those are
one of the push button ones too that they just jump open on their own.
Yeah, apparently those are legal in Canada. So weird.
Hey man, no automatics.
No, we're allowed auto batons.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Just give me an auto beard comb, and I'll be a happy man.
Yeah, we gotta work on course, don't we?
A little bit.
Yeah.
It needs some TLC.
I think we need to actually remake those steel paddles because they're
not paddling.
Well, no, they're a little soft.
Paddling.
That's a paddling.
That's the problem. It's not a paddling. There's no paddling going on right now, and Paul is disappointed.
It fires out now, great, but when you close it, it doesn't close properly.
I didn't tell you, mine's now having problems on the close now.
It's got the pating as it
reverberates back out.
Yeah.
Oh, on the open, I mean, not the close. Yeah, it'll go loose.
Zabiner, thanks for joining us. That's a nice knife. Yeah, that one on the screen, I hope you're talking about, and not that piece of crap comb that Joe just pulled on screen. Like,
hey.
Yeah, come on. It is what it is.
It's about as good as any Microtech.
About as good as any metal beard comb, too.
Yeah. It works.
Man, it's actually... It's not a bad beard comb. It's better than any other one that I've had that's metal. And you could definitely tweak it and make it better.
It's not a very good... it definitely grabs hair. If it's coarse like beard hair, it's fine. If it's... Don't brush your hair with... or comb your hair with this. It's nasty.
So yes, the Paradigm is a nice knife. To get off topic about your stupid combs.
Oh, that's okay. Jesus. I'd rather talk about the Paradigm. I've been looking for the original. Yeah. So little history lesson before
Black Frost as well in chat. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Cheers.
How's it going? Very brief history lesson. There once was a buck knife named the Paradigm. There were 3 or 4 different versions of it, and then it got discontinued. Then they came out with this one. The end. I missed
Or is it?
Well, this one's smaller. This one is a little bit smaller than the original. Different colorways. Examinator, I have a butterfly comb because butterfly knives are prohibited. Yeah, that's a good reason. I've yet to find a particularly high quality butterfly comb. I've played that's not.
Where did you get your high quality butterfly or auto comb?
Well, the auto comb came from Amazon, but I've never seen like a good butterfly comb. They always seem to be like sandwich construction, but like liner scale.
No, what I'm being a smart ass about is you critiquing his butterfly comb as
no. Okay. His could be good. I'm just saying I've personally never seen one.
As you've got a misfiring AliExpress comb.
Hey, I've probably
I don't know, man. I haven't found one that's worth buying yet. Well, have you checked this thing out?
Well, I mean, $50 is $50, right? Like, I'm okay with that, but little DIY.
Yeah.
I am not too proud to say that if I could get my hands on a Microtech comb, I'd probably buy it.
Mm.
Like an ass. Like an absolute ass.
So here's I don't know. I'd have a hard time justifying the expenditure as I just finished paying off a $600 knife here that I definitely didn't need. Anyway, so this paradigm, they upgraded the blade steel as well. The originals were either the 14C Sandvik, the S30V, or the Damascus for like the limited versions. Like there was a Yellow Horse specialty engraved whatever, and then there was one that was the Buck Custom Shop. This one is S35, and I think that's how they all come. There are automatic versions of the paradigm. This is the assisted because we're in Canada. We're not allowed the full autos.
Before we get too far ahead here, Joe, what are you carrying? Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
I meant to...
brief history lesson 3 hours later.
It's okay. Carrying this guy today.
You're not carrying a paradigm.
No, not. For a few reasons. We'll talk. I suppose I should switch to the picture of my knife. There we go. Yeah, that's the North Arm Skaha 2 with a machine ground blade and S35. Skaha! This is a fun knife. Yeah, if I wasn't so broke, that's the first reason I don't own a paradigm. But it is something that is still on my radar, for sure. But in the meantime, I've got this Canadian-made beast to hold me over.
To hold you over.
You know, it's a small price to pay.
Indeed.
Full disclosure, I think the Skaha is a much nicer
knife. Ben, Dick Richards, Infinite, Justin, thanks for joining us, even though Justin's apparently going to bail because he's doing too good on Halo.
Yeah. Hey, you got to chase those winning streaks, but goddamn, dude, you can't have us as like a little floating window just bullshitting in the top right-hand corner of your score screen.
Yeah, come on. Gah.
Technology, man. Come on. Use it.
Blah.
What about you, Paul? What are you carrying?
I am carrying the Benchmade Adamas.
Yeah, you are.
Because
of the miniature version?
Yeah, little guy.
It's just a wee little guy.
But yeah, it's a satisfying knife. It's got the right kind of chonk to it.
The right kind of chonk. Yeah, I'll agree.
Yeah.
It's a little chonky, but it's not nearly as crazy as I assumed it was going to be.
No, but I've been carrying a lot of stuff like real slim in this dimension recently.
That's fair.
So, but I'm enjoying it. It's nice to have a knife that like fills your hand.
Yep. Yeah.
And I was really concerned I was going to drop my knife off the balcony today.
You know.
I will be honest, my hand was behind it until I was like, and picture time? Click. Like, put it back.
I'm going to risk stitches if I grab this, but I'm going to risk stitches if it starts to fall. Not a cheap knife. No.
So, this weekend I was carrying my finally completed bug out.
Very nice.
So yeah, been rocking this for a little while, but this has been 4 people in the making for this bad boy. We got
4 people in the making.
Yeah. Justin being one of the main people to thank for the blade swap on this bad boy, but then Joel gave me finally the black barrel spacers off of one of his minis, and then I got a black thumb stud from a gentleman named Rob. And then who else? I can't even remember what else got. Oh no, Jared Kong. He might be joining us tonight. Started with the blue barrel spacers that I got from him, and then I traded those for the black ones. So
there you go.
It bothers me that I actually like this knife more with the all blacked out hardware. I hate it.
Still have The red barrel spacers, if anyone's interested. But it's
You should replace one of the barrel spacers with the red one. Just one.
No. And then over the weekend here, went for a walk in the woods, and while I went for a walk in the woods, happened to come across the old campsite, and found myself a new knife. I don't know, it's super weird, but I have this knife here that I just don't know what to do with. I don't know, Joe, if you want to switch that over.
Oh, I do.
So I don't know what to tell you, but it's a little bit rusty around the pivot, a little bit of rust along the edge and on the cold steel logoing, but other than that, open and closing pretty good. No, a little frozen to the ground, but
where was it?
So I actually can't take credit for it. Matt was trying to blow the secret in chat this whole goddamn time. Jesus Christ, he totally did. And I'm gonna smack that guy later on tonight and not letting. But he actually found it. So I think he wanted to spoil the secret deep on the inside when we were out there, exactly next to the tree stump that you took the pictures on.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So I'm guessing some sort of wildlife and or wind, something knocked it over, and it was frozen to the ground next to the tree stump. Yeah. And I took a look around, but I didn't know exactly where you had taken that picture. He walked right over to it and was like, "Oh, it's right here." Blah blah blah. Type of, yeah. So
I love the fact that, like, since the day that it happened, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I left it in that log.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Dennis, now you and I have the same knife.
Yeah, I'm gonna clean it up. I'm not gonna clean it up. And we'll see where it gets us here. There she is right there. Yeah.
That's funny. That's
little speckling along the edge, and then where the lock bar is back in there, you're gonna have to take that apart and clean that up, because that's the worst of it, is actually right back in there. So, which doesn't surprise me, because it's a little cutout groove. And if it was lying open, which it was, I believe, any moisture in there is just going to fall down in there, and it's going to be a cup of water sitting in there pretty much the whole time. So it doesn't shock me that that's the worst of it, but
that's it. And
ridiculously good shape, dude. Holy crap.
What I'd like to hear. I appreciate that. I will just say, Matt has said since the day that I realized I had lost it in the forest, he's like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to find that for you. And he wasn't wrong.
Yeah. And we took a look around a couple different places where you thought you might have been like pulling out your phone to take some pictures and whatever type of thing. So I did put the clip on the left-hand side already. So that's good thing. Yeah.
That's extra horrible. It's extra horrible given that you need the other. Yeah.
I know. It looks really bent weird now.
It's like super fucked up.
I'm gonna carry it like that out of spite when I give it to you on Wednesday.
That's awesome. By the way, all the T6s are stripped to shit. Don't know what happened. Sorry about that.
Yeah, weird.
Oh, I'm not touching that clip. Like if those are rusted and it belongs right hand forever now. It's just because it was out there for so long. Unless you want to take it apart,
I have to say,
if I can get it apart without having to take the clip off, I'll just do that.
Yeah, but
XHP, not quite as weather corrosion prone as some people would lead you to believe, huh? Given that it was out there as long as it was.
It was 3 months, dude. So it was 3 months in the snow and the rain. And like I said, there was grazing land for at least a couple of weeks or a month afterwards. So potentially cattle had gotten up in there. I know wildlife, we see whitetail. We saw 4 whitetail. Couldn't get a clean shot, but we saw 4. So, So who knows? And just with the wind and the rain that it'll get sometimes. I'm actually impressed more than anything else.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I know that XHP has fairly high chromium content, but I guess a lot of that's in carbide form, and it's not helping with rust resistance.
Mm-hmm. And anyway, pretty impressed. You got yourself a knife back.
That's a high note to start the evening on. Shit.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Guys.
And by that, I mean, yeah, Matt has a new knife. He's going to really hate it. It's a lefty clip, too. I'll do it to him. I knew it.
There you go.
Ben's asking if I had a spit take, and it's always close.
It's usually pretty close. So, that's cool that you got that back.
Knife came home.
Yeah, exactly. Are
Stay
we,
at 7, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, it fell down a well. Jesus.
off of a log and down a well?
Timmy was not there. It was your knife instead. Timmy would have died 3 months ago. Your knife was in way better shape than Timmy is.
It just fell into him, and that's how he went out.
Oh, it's a Timmy skeleton.
Yeah. It's just in the eye socket of the Timmy skeleton.
Oh, dark.
Hey, man.
So, buck paradigm, you say?
I do say.
Indeed.
I've been
History
looking.
lessons.
Well, I think that I've got most of the information out there.
Yeah.
So the big to do about this knife is it utilizes a button lock. It's actuated by a bolster. It's got this sweet little action that, in order to open the knife, you got to swivel the bolster, then pop the flipper tab down, and that actually allows it to pop open. I believe it's a similar assist spring to what Benchmade's using in their assisted knives, where it's constant pressure all the way open. It's not like a torsion bar or anything like that.
So you said button lock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plunge lock, button lock.
Okay, that's how it's being activated type of thing, right? So,
Yeah.
So interesting to note that the plunge has a safety feature if that's the case, because most plunge locks and button locks.
So there's something fucky here. I tried to highlight it in the photos as best I could. Let me see if I can get that here. I forget what I named all these things, because I'm just fantastic like that.
Way to lead the show. Way to lead the show, Joe. Good job.
Well, here's the... There we go. So this is what it looks like when it's locked from the spine down. And you can clearly see that there's a protrusion. The button's coming out, and it's getting in the way of the blade tang, and it's stopping it from rotating. And then this is it unlocked, and I know that there's a delay, so that these two here are going to have to play catch up a bit as I'm talking about this, but unlocked, and I'll jump back and forth here a little bit. Unlocked, that protrusion is now pushed out of the way forcefully, but there's still a second step on the inside of the pin for the plunge lock. And that's also acting as the stop pin, as far as I can tell. There could be an internal stop pin. I couldn't see one, but there might be one there.
You didn't happen to look up any sort of disassembly or know if there is any sort of disassembly out there on this knife yet? Yeah.
I haven't looked into it yet. I imagine this is pretty much the exact same as the original in terms of its mechanics, but yeah, I still haven't looked up a disassembly for these guys yet.
Interesting.
So apparently there's a video on Buck's website that shows a 3D model teardown of the knife.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And yeah, you can see the button underneath. They've got the bolster off.
But the main takeaway from this is that when the bolster is in the closed position, I guess closed is the opportune word here. The pin is always up. So what that means is there's going to be spring pressure. So as you open this knife, when you flick your finger downward, you're knocking that bolster down as well as the flipper tab. And then when it fully opens, the button clicks, and it stays in the locked position. But the same thing happens when it's closed. So it's one of the few knives out there that will automatically lock, open, and close. I can't think of too many other knives that do that, to be perfectly honest, aside from automatics.
I was going to say autos. Yeah.
Or that don't have a completely separate piece that you've got to that's on the leak is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like a secondary.
The fact that it's all in one motion and it's the lock is pretty cool.
It's fairly fidget friendly. Not as much as the large one, in my opinion, just because I like the larger size. It was easier to articulate that lock, but this is still pretty fidgetable, if that's a word.
So just for some random specs here,
Yes,
if I can. Yeah. 3-inch blade on the nose, right? Yeah.
just about. Yeah.
And then 7.4, 7.375, whatever, 7.5-inch handle. Yeah, S35. It's a hollow grind, is what they're telling us in this thing.
So it is a hollow grind, and you may say, "Wow, it's a hollow grind, but that bevel looks kind of wide." That's because it's kind of thick behind the edge. This isn't a very deep hollow grind, but it is actually a hollow grind.
You can see it in that picture that it's hollow.
Yeah, you can see the light distorting.
Yeah.
I wonder. Yeah, no.
Ben, who broke the knife when the bolster's open.
Yeah,
something's wrong there. Yeah.
It doesn't look right. Yeah.
So.
Ambi clip.
Yeah, I was going to actually throw that out there. Being the lefties, they have a groove cut on the other side that's able to be used left-handed. But engaging the bolster lock as a lefty versus a righty, you're using your index finger. You're giving it one of these, just a little one of these type of thing. And it's actually not too bad once you get used to it, because it's actually the same finger that draws the trigger as it fires the trigger. So it's kind of like once you get used to it, you can get it kind of into one foul swoop, right?
Yeah, kind of like a pull back and then a flick down sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you're pulling the lock, and then with that same finger, you're firing it and closing the lock again all at the same time, right?
They've got some pretty good serrations there to grab a hold of too on that bolster, which is nice.
Jimpings, serrations,
grooves,
Are
something.
you trying to cut me?
Grooves, because they're out. They're not in, right?
Well, here, let me zoom in. They are out.
Raised.
I don't know if I'd call those serrations. They're definitely
Would you call it
grooves.
fluting?
No, fluting is like material removed.
It's fluted in between.
This is fluted. The grip itself is fluted, like the G10. Very slightly, but yeah. Anyway. Pedantry aside, yeah, the clip. Super deep parry.
Okay, but wait. Hang on.
We're going back to
that
the
train. No, we're going back to the lefty clip. Don't derail too much. They're saying lefty clip and the backside of the lefty clip. But on Buck's website, right hand only, you sons of bitches. They don't say right hand, left hand on theirs, and they do on other models. Yes,
what the hell?
They do on other models.
Okay.
And they say right hand carry.
On all versions of that knife, or was that a typo that was just like processed across the board?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my mistake. I was just kind of reading it, and it made me chuckle right now as we were talking about it. But that's actually on another competitor's website I was reading, because they've got better specs than Buck itself does. And they said right hand only. So they're wrong. But, you know.
Much for their better specs. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, some better.
They
just really don't like lefties. They just, that website in particular is super biased.
Yeah, right hand only for the entire website. Yeah.
What is that material that clip is screwed into? Is that aluminum?
As far as I can tell, it is aluminum. It did feel cold to the touch, but I haven't actually looked it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Bolster material? No, that's aluminum. I don't know what it says. Either way, it's aluminum. It might be stainless steel even. Like it's
yeah.
The
knife got a
is,
texture to it that makes me think aluminum.
Is it Cerakoted?
They did do some sort of coating to it. It is kind of flecky. It's got a
Cerakoter coating.
It might be. Oh, what's the bitch? It might be. Yeah, it does definitely look like it's been coated with something. It feels like it too. There is a little bit of tactileness to it. Not enough to really enhance your grip, but definitely enough to notice if you're trying to feel for it.
Some tactile sensations.
We definitely need to get away from that zoom in though. That's just weird as hell.
Fair.
You can do another picture. We get the point. It definitely is coated, but yes. It's
Yeah.
just weird to get that close to the butt end of a knife.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So,
Alright.
That's fair.
yeah. Overall, I actually like this knife. I like the original version with the larger one. The smaller one isn't bad. I find the bolster lock isn't as easy to fire because it is a smaller knife in your hand. So
Yeah.
positive grip compared to the bigger one. It just, yeah. But EDC and in the pocket and whatever, I think I probably like the 3-inch version more than the 3.5 or whatever it was, right? The original one.
A very small QC gripe as well. I did notice that there was a difference between the two that I had available to look at today.
Difference like blade centering because both of them were off. Those were the same, but
both were off. But no, the finishing on the that's too zoomed. The finishing on the tang of the blade on top of the flipper tab. It's not something you would ever touch during the knife's operation, open or closed. But it was pretty rough cut just from the water jet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Weird.
just a slight thing, but from an American-made buck, I'm a little sad to see it, especially at the 220-ish Canadian polar bear dollars that this thing comes in at. But
Canuck buck, thank you.
Canuck buck, yeah, Canuck buck. But it was something that I did notice and wanted to highlight because like it kind of sucks. This isn't necessarily the nicest looking picture, but it does highlight the difference there. Like they have a pretty good surface finish on the one that was done properly. The one that wasn't, it just very rough.
One of them snuck through the QC pretty.
Yeah, and to be clear, this is something that if you were determined, you could fix yourself. But I shouldn't have to at that price. That's all.
No. It genuinely looks like it somehow missed that step.
Yeah.
But on the flip side to that, if you took pictures of that,
yeah,
and sent to Buck would actually probably swap it out and give you a new one.
1,000%. I have full confidence their warranty would cover something like that. Yeah,
Buck does have a pretty good warranty when it's just like, here, we like you to keep buying our knives. Have another one. Like
Ben's got a new name for our Canadian currency, Beaver Bucks.
It's
And
the
that
Beaver
sounds
Bucks.
like a different thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm on board as much. I did grab.
They're not as cold as you think they are. It's
yeah.
You know.
Anyway, this is definitely a cool little knife. It remains on my radar. With Christmas, I've been focusing on getting other people gifts, so I've been running myself a little short. So I'm waiting for more funds to arrive before I buy this thing for myself. But it's probably going to come home with me because I only have like 2 assisted knives, maybe 3 that I actually really like. This would be a welcome addition.
We're going to mention the handle G10 that fools us with micarta because they did a sweet job of roughing that up enough to like, especially the chamfered angled spots on it where you can see the layers of the G10 itself. They roughed it up enough that it's actually hard to differentiate whether it's micarta. Both me and Paul were like, wait a second.
Yeah, the picture I was looking for.
Verify it.
Yeah, the super nice job. I know.
But then on the flats, it actually has a pretty decent texture. It's not overly rough like some of the old Cold Steel stuff or some of the old Spyderco stuff, right? So
yeah, it's pretty reasonably textured for sure.
It is off center, but it's not like terribly off center.
It's livable, and I have a distinct feeling that it's also fixable if you were to disassemble the knife and retension all the body screws properly. I think you could get away with it. Because it really isn't that bad. Nothing's rubbing. Yeah.
Joe's talking about things rubbing, and the guys in the chat are having their own conversation here. Also involving rubbing. But
yeah.
All right, knives, you say. Jesus.
Does the thing ride on washers or bearings? I completely forgot to check.
I don't know. You're asking me questions that you thought of that I don't. You should have the answers to your questions.
Fine, we'll go to Buck's website.
They're not going to tell you shit.
What? Really? Come
I'm
on.
on Buck's website. They're not telling me shit.
That sucks.
It's not bearings. There's no way. Buck hasn't jumped on the dual. It's got to be washers.
No. They've got a couple knives with bearings. They're just all like 8 CR or like 7
No, but
CR.
they're not spring assisted with bearings. They're either bearing or they're assisted. They haven't done the duo thing that Kershaw and CRKT is now pulling off.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like I think.
What the hell do you think I was talking about there? Yeah, so they have to be washers. They're not Teflon because they wouldn't be able to withstand though Kershaw's oh so sweet gets the crap beat out of it on plastic washers on a regular basis. So maybe that's not the case, right? But yeah.
I would prefer washers just because there's enough moving components in this thing to keep things, a little bit simpler, but
yeah. And I think Dick Richards did have a point with don't be too rough on it. I guarantee that bolster's not going to take abuse. Swinging and pivoting like that, even in the locked position, there's no way compared to a fixed bladed bolster or something like that type of thing, that like batoning, for instance.
Oh, okay. I was thinking if you're talking about the lockup, button locks, plunge locks are not ideal for any of that kind of work. Yeah.
I wasn't talking about the lock itself. I was more talking about the actual bolster and like a preventing breakage on that moving mechanism and stuff like that type of thing. I don't think you'd be able to hammer on this thing. I think you're buying it for the cool factor. And I'm gonna work in a warehouse, or I'm gonna work. You can do some light duty stuff, like
the bolsters are actually separate from the locking mechanism. The only way that it interfaces is when you actually move it to disengage the button. So unless you're striking the aluminum directly, I don't know. I think you'd be okay with using it hard, just not beating the shit out of it with a steel hammer hard.
So what you're saying is like the cold steel thumb plates where you just break them right away to get it out of the way.
No,
you do that same thing with the bolster. You just break it off right away, get it out of there.
No, I'm saying
the rest of the knife.
I'm saying that aluminum bolster has as much to do with the lockup as this plastic tab does. Not the steel component underneath, but the plastic itself.
Yeah. I got you.
You're probably fine. But I mean, any folding knife, I wouldn't be batoning with it. I wouldn't be thumping on it super duper hard.
Well,
outside of Contigos, outside of Adamas's,
again, hard use. Some of the cold steel triad stuff, no problem, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't think this is going to
have something else that I can beat on.
Yeah.
This is also only a 3-inch blade. This is more like your your convenience carry sort of thing. Most knives in the size range, they're not made for that kind of use anyway.
It's the same guys that would buy a Griptilian type of attitude, or like, it's not so much a mini, but like a full size grip, or Delica or an Endura. It's going to be in that same kind of platform of like, you probably can't smash on it too hard, but it'll treat you okay. Type of,
yeah.
Can I be honest in saying that I was expecting to be let down by this knife?
No, you may not.
It didn't disappoint me, but I expected that it was going to, because oftentimes, depending on which buck you're getting, it's kind of a crapshoot sometimes as far as what's what.
I think I had my hopes up too high, based on the original. The original, I still maintain, is a much nicer knife than these.
That's fair, and I never experienced the originals, so I don't have a basis of comparison. I think that also is swaying me. The mechanism is swaying me, quite honestly.
It's still a full mechanism.
I'm
still probably going to own one.
I think they're probably comparable to the original. I got to be honest with you. I think our tastes have just become more discerning since we've played with the original. I think, honestly, with doing this channel and things like that, in 3 years and plus of doing this channel, I think that's what we're working with. I don't even goddamn know. We should have an anniversary at some point. I don't even know what it is. I'm good with dates like that. Ask my girlfriend. So, yeah. But I do believe that after doing that and seeing what we're seeing and critiquing knives on a general basis, I think we're more dicks about stuff than we were when the OG version of this paradigm got released.
Maybe. I will say, though, the original did have 3D machined contoured handles. It did have and this is probably just due to the size, but a feeling of more clicky action. It had more robustness to it. But again, this could be a little bit of rose tinting going on for sure.
I don't know if I necessarily liked the complete contouring, and yes, it did, but with the blue and black G10 that it had, I mean, the Damascus one was its own white little jam and whatever. And for those who don't know, the original one had a limited edition version with white micarta, and I want to say it was a black bolster and Damascus steel. Like, it was a really cool contrast. Okay. Way too much money.
I still wish I bought one. Yeah, it's way too much money, but
the OG version was blue and black contoured rounded micarta with S30.
So there were a couple different versions.
Paul's going to say something. Let him say.
Yeah, sorry. Go for it.
I genuinely think that the beige, whatever the new one is, that bronzy colored bolster is the color choice out of the two, out of the black versus it. That's all I was trying to say. In a terribly way as possible.
I'm just going to quickly flash across the screen here a number of the different limited iterations that they had done.
Oh, I'm so glad we didn't get the skull in flames. It's. I know Paul was about to be like, I want that one, but this one that you got up with the white and black one, it's the classier.
We got
version.
2 white and black. I prefer the white on the handle as opposed to the white bolster, and I prefer the raindrop Damascus, but yeah, they had a couple of cool versions.
Yeah, that
expensive.
One. Yeah, that one right there is just
that one right there with the dark bolster. Yeah,
that was the one we had in the shop, and sexy. Holy sexy.
How many Canuckarinos were there?
I think there were 500-ish, 450-ish Canuckarinos, but this was, like, again, a 6-year ago knife. Like, your Semenza price range at that point in time in the as far as comparable pricing.
It's like getting kicked in the solar plexus. Nobody needs that.
Well, their normal one was in that 229 to 250, like similar price point for what this one is. And with S35 and being American made, but with inflation and it's being a miniature, like, how does it balance out with price point versus compared to the OG version?
The OG was using micarta and it was bigger. So more materials, more expensive material, arguably.
Very true story.
So there's room for that. I've been looking for an original for quite some time. Haven't been able to find one. I even thought, hey, maybe I'll settle for the Sandvik. Can't find that either. So I don't know. I'm happy that they brought this model back, though. Like,
I didn't realize they had an original one with Sandvik. I always thought it was just S30. Yeah.
They had a Pro version, and then they had a Select version, I want to say, that was 14C Sandvik.
Wow, you know what this knife needs to be is cheaper.
Well, yeah. And honestly...
like with the bolster locks and,
Well, the old one was... I think there was a considerable price jump down between them. Anyway, the current one, though, I'm getting super off track with that, but super cool knife regardless. I'm super happy to see it back in Buck's catalog. We need more weird shit like this. And this isn't that weird. I think this will still appeal to a lot of people. So
this is what I wish CRKT did more of. Is something that's like, hey, it's at least in the steel that I am interested in playing around with. I like S35.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I'm saying. Give me the weird shit, but give it to me in a decent form factor.
In a steel that's worth a damn? Yeah. And beside that one little QC snap where the tang was really rough, other than that, the fit and finish on these guys is pretty reasonable for the price. Centering could be better. But I like the way they cut the handles. I like the way everything was chamfered and ground, and
I don't necessarily like the big fat clip either on it, but
no,
it's a minor complaint.
Than a lot of their clips.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's not the anvil clip.
Exactly.
That thing's. I'm gonna swap that out for your broken skull. By the way, it's put the anvil. I took it off of my 112, so I mean, might as well
put it somewhere.
Gotta get some use out of it. Side. Exactly. Yeah, you'll have this giant silver anvil on one side.
Oh, that's so rude.
I actually really like the anvil placement on this guy on the pivot. I wish they didn't bother putting it on the blade as well, but I kind of like it on the pivot, on the face side. On the show side or whatever.
Kind of
Yeah.
wish they did a little wee thing and just had the bottom of that be silver.
A little wee thing, yeah. I
Little
like how you used
contrasty.
Wii as a reference for
Okay,
that.
Civivi.
And well,
Civivi, there you go.
no, I was gonna say, and not Artisan for.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Don't do what Artisan's doing.
don't do that. I mean, you can do this. This is fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
if 1,000 years from now, they're going to be affiliated in ways they have no idea. It's too generationally close to each other. It's
Yep.
How much? This one is just over the 200, 2.25-ish of the Kanakarinos.
The ivory one with Damascus was like $500.
Yeah, 450, 500, somewhere in that price point is what I want to say. And nowadays, 1.5 times that.
Ours, the Damascus one that we had at our shop, I distinctly remember being over 5. Like, and actually at the time, comparing it to Sabenzas, I'm like, man, I could buy a Sabenza for that. I was so happy when someone else bought it, and like, good, I don't need to think about that anymore.
Yeah.
And here I am, still thinking about it. How many years?
Yeah, and you bought a mini version of it just to satisfy your needs.
Not yet, but I probably will.
Oh, I said past tense because in another timeline, that shit's already happened.
Oh,
It's
not that far outside the realm of possibility. Yeah.
There's not an insignificant chance that I end up with one of these at some point too.
Yeah.
I like it for its uniqueness, but it won't get carried. And I don't know how collectible it'll be. If you can get one of the fancy good deals on the old school ones, those ones will be a little more collectible as far as just throwing in the like, hey, look at the cool things that I have.
The prices.
Maybe they do.
The prices of them actually went down over $100 on eBay. There were a couple that I were following. They were asking like way too much, like 450, 500 for the original NS30V. I checked eBay as soon as these guys came available. Prices went down about $150. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Not low enough for me to consider buying though.
I'm a cheap son of a bitch. Keep going.
That's it. I'm like, the new one's coming out. I could buy that one for cheaper. Leave me alone. Yeah.
Good stuff.
So how are you guys rating this one?
Oh, I have some ratings. I have some ratings for it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Well, I'm glad somebody has them.
We're gonna give this thing a baker's dozen of glazed donuts and 1/3 of a bald eagle. Now you can pick which third you want that bald eagle to be. That's fine.
All claws.
I was thinking legs, like that's a good, but you might have to take like some of the tail feathers to go along with it. I don't know, 30%. That head and that body makes up a lot, right? How high up do you have to go?
Are we talking about mass or are we talking about volume?
I was going to say, because mass, the legs themselves are probably most of the mass.
I don't know. I'm going to leave it at 1/3. You can I told you can divide it how you wish, but 1/3. It's
Okay.
3 pounds of eagle.
Yeah. If you can do the math, show your work. That's all I want.
I hate that. Thank you.
And a baker's dozen glazed donuts. Don't forget.
Oh yeah,
don't forget.
Gotta sweeten the deal somehow.
To 6.3 kilograms is what a bald eagle weighs, apparently. 6.3 kilos that's a big bird.
That's a 15-pound bird. Yeah.
That's a turkey.
I could carry off a baby, no problem.
Yeah. That's Thanksgiving's coming up down in the States, boys. There's something new on the menu.
They're not endangered anymore.
We're
right?
talking about drumsticks. They're not?
I don't think so.
There was something recently about some variant of eagle that was like taken off the endangered list, but I don't know if it was like
good for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of like they didn't want to take them off the list because it's their national bird and stuff like that too.
Well, yeah, but not ours.
No.
So anyway, yeah, that's my rating.
Okay.
You can take that in kilometers per hour, by the way.
Oh, can we? All right.
Yeah. It's scored in kilometers.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna play off of that a little bit. I'm gonna give it 12 out of 15 anvils going at a nice 110 kilometers an hour.
Oh, nice. It's a Mike Tyson punch.
That's
It's
terrifying.
Good stuff.
12 anvils. Oh,
That's like 25 Mike Tyson punches.
how many like barns do you think that would go through?
Yes.
Yeah.
At the speed you've just
How many
described,
birds you got? Like, it's
all of them? That much mass moving that fast? Jesus Christ.
I think my sister has 8 barns, maybe 6 barns. I don't know.
After this,
They're not lined up though. You'd have to get it to boomerang somehow.
after this, she's not going to have any. Let's say that.
That's how my brother-in-law broke his leg. It's
Throwing anvils. Slinging anvils.
I don't think that's a broken leg.
all right, Joe. You get your final scoring. I don't know if you can keep up with the ridiculousness, but
Jeez.
keep the gross to a minimum. We know you at this point, Joe. Come on.
All right, fine.
All right, fine. You got me.
I'd give this 4 very pregnant hamsters and however many out of the litter they give birth to.
Okay, what speed are they traveling?
Depends on how quickly they give birth, I guess.
Does a pregnant hamster look like a sack of marbles?
They do. No, I don't know offhand, but I've got this lovely mental image, and I'm just gonna keep it.
With little lumps everywhere? Little hammy lumps?
So,
I think you guys need to watch more nature documentaries.
what nature documentaries are you watching with hamsters? And how dare
Any
you?
sort of animal that's pregnant. Do they look like they've got marbles in them?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I've seen very pregnant dogs with a shaved tummy, and you can see like the little legs. Yeah. That looks like a sack full of hammers more than a sack full of marbles. But
what happened to your dog?
I said minimum grossness, but still,
gross.
we're talking about
pregnant dogs
with
Oh,
hammers.
My poor
Something
dog
gross
ate all my
about that.
hammers.
I don't.
They're not
think so.
traveling very fast. I guarantee it.
No.
It's, yeah.
They're safely in a like a tissue lined box.
Safely. There's anvils flying around. There's nothing safe right now.
Okay, they're on the inside of a hollowed out anvil, so they're very protected. How about that?
That's just CTE waiting to happen, man.
The worst hamster ball ever. It's an
Yes.
anvil.
Just a hamster
to
paint
roll
on
it.
the inside.
What do you think a hamster ball does?
It's not a
Jesus.
hamster ball.
What are you doing with it? You're putting hamsters inside it. How is it not a hamster ball at this
I
point?
like Dennis's reactions. Like, there were animals inside it. Of course, I pushed it down the hill. Fuck. All right.
He's
Well,
got you there, really, Joe.
okay. Well, at the end of the day, what you choose to do with those 4 pregnant hamsters, I mean, that's between you and God, I guess. You sick fucks.
Between me and that staircase, let's be honest.
Oh no! Don't don't sling hamsters downstairs. That's terrible.
Hashtag slinging hamsters.
Oh, Peter's back.
Yeah.
All right,
never left.
they weren't at a third of a bald eagle.
Yeah, that's fair.
Their
They were
little
hovering on the.
their little ears perked up when they heard that. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I would personally wouldn't buy it, but if you think the gimmick is cool and you don't have anything kind of like, I would buy it if I didn't have a decade of high end crap that I like to carry.
I can't see it getting a lot of pocket time from me, but it's a cool mechanism that I don't want to miss out on, kind of, if that makes sense.
There's a difference between opening up the bag of tricks and showing cool stuff that you can't see on a regular basis, and that falls into this for that category. It doesn't really almost even fall into an EDC. And yes, it's meant to be EDC, and all the guys that did, yeah, I highly encourage it. It's a sweet knife for sure.
I've got a.
But for me, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, it's not going to be a carry item. It's going to be like, hey, look at what Buck did to try to kind of like innovate. Yeah.
It's going to be one of those things that you carry when you're going to go hang out with your knife buddies, because
Yeah.
it's a bit weird,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be like, "Oh, what the hell is that?"
I don't know. I've got a bag here half full of knives that are just quirky, weird opening mechanisms. I think that would
Mhm.
fit right in with that.
No, the difference is that that bag is worth more than most of the knives in there, whereas this thing, no. I'm kidding.
It hurts, but it's kind of true. Kind of true. I don't know. Some of these have been out of production for so long. I could probably sell them for like $13-14. It'd be...
The stupid thing is that there's actually some of those old enough CRKTs that have actually just regained in like a niche market type of
some weird shit. Some
Yeah.
very weird shit. Yeah.
glide locky stuff and all that
But
good times. Yeah.
This is kind of why, like, part of why I got into collecting, though. So, I mean, to me, this definitely scratches a very particular itch.
Part of my enjoyment of it is that like I can't have the Italian style like switchblades with the bolster locks on them, and this is one of the closer things that I can get that kind of scratches that itch for me.
Yeah.
It's just better not to scratch the itch.
Sometimes you just gotta
I'm not itchy like that. I don't know.
sometimes you gotta put a little X in it.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, that about sums it up.
I think so.
I guess.
We're
Pregnant
gonna-
hamsters and bald eagle parts. It's yeah. If that doesn't sum up the buck paradigm, I don't know what does.
Bald eagle parts.
And 4 pregnant hamsters. It's, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't. Oh yeah, anvils. That's right. Mike Tyson anvils. That's
There you
good
go.
times. Yeah.
Someone's just getting hurt.
So what else are we talking about tonight?
Let me close up all these pictures and we'll find out.
There's a couple things. Something small. I didn't take a picture of it because it was so small. I didn't even know if we were going to talk about it tonight or take a screenshot. But Spyderco hinted that they're doing Magnicut in a mule. Yeah.
Put up my picture, Joe.
All right. So I'm going to steal Paul's topic.
Not at all. That is all I had to say about it too. Is that they hinted about using Magnicut.
Yeah, they got it in a mule. That's a mule blade. That's what that is.
There we go.
That is pretty dang exciting to me.
It is.
Oh, and Nick Richards, you can't tell me that aesthetically that knife, if it wasn't made by Cold Steel, that would be a sexy fucking knife. Like looking at that knife, nice knife, pretty knife. The Paradigm's a good looking knife, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not even a flipper guy. It's a good looking knife, but
I think
nice knife. Spyderco Magnicut.
I think bolsters are kind of a cheat code to get us all interested in shit, though. Honestly, like bolsters are nice.
Can we talk about how Spyderco is going to harden this thing too hard for about 9 to 12 months before they get the heat treatment figured out and everyone's going to chip it? Do we want to talk about that?
I don't know. This might be the only time where they don't do that because Laren is super fucking specific with how to heat treat the steel.
Yeah.
I think they might be okay.
May I refer you to every exotic steel Spyderco's ever produced?
Again, I only believe in this particular case because it is Laren. Otherwise, yeah, that seems to be a trend.
I thought that was the whole purpose of the mule, was to try and take steel as like bleeding edge as you possibly could.
Well, realistically, it should take them 24 months, but they got the mules out of the way, so it only takes them 9 to 12.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, most of the steels that are being used, like S90V, stuff like that, they're not made specifically as cutlery steels. They're made for tool and die use, which means that when they're made initially, they're intended for a specific geometry. So Spyderco's mule actually makes sense in those categories, whereas Magnicut is specifically made as a cutlery steel. There shouldn't be this much trying to optimize it because Laren's done the work for them essentially. Did you get it?
To give an example, I don't know, but there's been a fly zooming around here for 2 or 3 seconds, and I don't know if I actually snagged it or not. But no, I didn't. It's right there, fucker. To give you an example, S90 was actually plastic molding injected steel. It was meant for, because it doesn't deteriorate over time. Its wear resistance is ridiculous. So you can just make mold after mold after mold after mold out of it without having to replace the molds because of how long it actually lasts. There was articles back in the early 2000s, I want to say, talking about how S90 would never be a knife steel compared to S30 or S35, blah, blah, blah. Like Blade Magazine straight up and shit like that type of thing. Tactical knives and all those different magazines back in the day. Yeah. Oh yeah. There was big claims about S90 never being a cutlery steel.
Was it just because of how difficult it is to sharpen relative to
ridiculous? Like, yeah, for sure. And I mean, they talk about S110 and even S125 because I don't know if is 125, right?
Yeah.
There is an S125.
Yeah. 125.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know about type of thing because it's so rare and exclusive, whatever.
Most
and
customs for the most part, I think.
It's like 15V. It's like, I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it in person, kind of thing.
Gray Ghost.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in hunting mode. There's mule deer around. It's the Gray Ghost. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway.
Anyway, exciting announcement. Here's hoping Spyderco doesn't take fucking forever to figure out the heat treat.
Okay,
it's right
my question though is, what's the first knife on the market other than a mule?
PM2.
It has to be.
Oh,
it has to be.
Yeah, 100%. But after the militaries, if they get around to making any new models, maybe they would work with Laren for some sort of design. I think he's more interested in pushing the steel rather than the knife design itself. But
it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they release 4. Just boom, boom, boom. Mannix, Native, PM2, PM3. Here you go. Bang. Here's some MagnaCut. Type of, yeah.
Do you think they do like they did with S45 and do a sprint run and then immediately release it as a regular item?
They might be cocky and do it. They might.
They're not going to have the availability to let this be a regular production thing. This is going to be sprint run for
for the foreseeable future. Sure.
2 years at least, but before they get a regular production. I'm making that prediction right now. They're not going to have enough. There's too many people. Chris Reeve is like, I'll fight Spyderco for S45. I'll fight Spyderco for MagnaCut. Let's play that game. Let's see who wins. Spyderco and Chris Reeve and Spyderco are going to fight over Crucible. And S30 was invented by Chris Reeve, so I know who my money's on.
Yeah.
Can I just cross my fingers and hope that it's a sprint run and not a exclusive?
You may, but it may end up being an exclusive if availability is even more shot up the ass than we think it's going to be.
Step 1, step 2. It might be an exclusive at Blade HQ or one of the leading whatever type of boys before they keep it for themselves. Although Spyderco might say no.
Dick Richards is asking about your Sauron mace behind you.
It is not a Sauron mace. It is actually United Cutlery has a ridiculous thing. Paul has one next to a really crappy plastic Viking helm that's not actually a Viking helm because of the horns, but we won't get into that. The mace.
It's a Halloween costume.
The mace is United Cutlery. It's called the Jaeger mace. It's ridiculous. It's made out of polypropylene. It weighs like a pound or some crap. I don't know. It's super light, and it will punch holes in things because of those flanges. It's silly and ridiculous. Yeah.
I have one of these as well. They're awesome. I also have the smaller version.
And they're cheap as shit, too. Like, they're no money. Like...
Yeah.
To have something that you like and didn't trees with, it's stupid. Like
speaking of putting holes in things and being gross, there's a YouTuber who's well known for taking physical abuse, bodybuilder, whatever. He's put some holes in his leg from this thing. Like these things are crazy.
Way to be gross, Joe. Way to
I gave a warning.
This thing makes me feel like an orc when I'm carrying it. Like,
it's fantastic.
I played OG WoW back in the day. And this is straight up, but they would have been walking around with.
It's so much fun. Beside that, just to get it out of the way, is a Chinese Hanwei war sword. Yeah, Chinese war sword. Yeah, that's over here. Yeah, that guy right there is. They don't make it anymore. 5160 full tang, including the ring on the back. Oh goodness! Oh my god, it's a fun one. So,
I'm not
yeah.
envious. I'm not envious of that at all.
If we're talking about zombie apocalypse, I've got a couple options that are covered in spades, and that's not a bad one, let me tell you. So I got a couple Bowies over there, a couple Filipino Talibon hunting going on, crossed over pair. Just I don't know. I like
that word way too much. Gununting.
hunting.
You're going to be so overcome with executive dysfunction when you take a moment to look at the swords as the zombies approach you. You're just going to get eaten. You're not going to be able to make a choice.
No. I can fight off my own home for 2 or 3 of them. I'll let them go dull and pick up another one. And then at the end of the night, what do you think I'm doing? I'm making sure all 3 of those are ready to go for the next day.
Yeah, but which one do you start with?
Banshee.
Yeah.
All day long. The Banshee.
No hesitation. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And then it's a 2-way tie with the Chinese war sword. And actually the Condor Tekana, which they still make and bang for your buck. That thing I would take to zombie hell with. It's built like a tank. It doesn't hold the best edge, but yeah.
Oh, I wanted to find Condor's website, but anyway.
Yeah, Chinese war swords are awesome. Zombie tools, I don't know if they still make theirs, but this is almost identical specs. You just can't get this one anymore. So if you want one that's somewhat comparable, the crazy boys from Montana, Zombie Tools, make a sweet Chinese war sword. The Reaver Cleaver, it's similar to it, same thickness, same 5160, same length, same handle. I've looked at it and it was almost copied off of Hanway's. I don't even know if they're still producing it. I hope so. I want to say it's the Reaver Cleaver.
I'm on the website right now. There is the Reaver Cleaver, but there's also the Rat Bastard. And the
Rat Bastard's the mini. Calvin has a Rat Bastard if you boys would like to play with one at some point in time.
Calvin.
Cal might be watching this evening. He might set up a day because he likes to be in the background. That sneaky little bastard. Anyway, Calvin's good shit.
Rat bastard.
Yeah, the sneaky rat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but the Reaver Cleaver is almost identical if you're looking for something just as cool.
I don't hate the Reaper 3 either. Quite honestly.
No, honestly, anything out of their lineup, I would be happy if you added to me.
I will promote the hell out of the Zombie Tool boys. Those 3 boys from Montana, it's probably more. I hope it's more of them now to keep up with production, but they make some phenomenal shit. We haven't talked about the Zombie Tools boys ever on our channel. And that's worth a conversation within itself. Mm-hmm. That might be our last topic to finish up tonight. I'll talk about Zombie Tools shit.
Let's do it. All right, Dennis, favorite Zombie Tools current offering.
Oh, what's their Bowie called? It's obviously the Felon. I want a Felon.
Yeah.
Before anything else, I want a Felon.
I feel bad only because we had a Felon come through the shop when Dennis wasn't there, and I got to handle it. It's a fuck off big knife though. Like, God. Okay, so here's a picture in hand. That doesn't do justice to how thick this thing is.
And upper body strength is good, but footwork works better there, Dick. It's as far as the comments there. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Upper body strength all day long. The cleaver will tire you out. It's a thick blade. That's why my Banshee is number 1, is because it's very light and very fast, and I can use it all day long. But
this is a 1/4 inch thick Bowie, and if you look at how far that flat goes out towards the tip, the thing chops.
12 3/4 inch blade. It's slightly bigger than a Natchez Bowie, to put it in perspective for boys who are not familiar with size. And yeah, it's a big boy. It's not a Trailmaster. It's this is awkward on my hip kind of Bowie. That's the way I likes it. Yeah.
How thick is it?
How thick?
1/4 inch.
1/4 inch.
Okay. So it is.
Yeah.
I guess
like a bigger Trailmaster.
My audio must have got cut off, but yeah. Not only is it 1/4 inch thick, but look at how far the flat actually goes up the blade pawl. Like, that's 4/5 of the distance from bolster to tip.
I am going to put it right out there because we're talking about Zombie Tools. We're doing it right now. Buy their Kydex. I've seen questionable work from their leather. They charge more for their leather sheath, and it's a leather upgrade. Nothing against the boys, but I think they need to find a leather guy. Their Kydex is tried and true. I love their Kydex. Yeah. I would standard price it with the Kydex all day long and be a super happy guy. The leather, you might be happy with it. You might not be. Maybe I'm a leather snob. I did put up a post about rich mahogany earlier today. So,
just where this advice is coming from.
And on that note, Espresso Bladeworks did, or Hobby Crafts, Hobby Shops, I don't know, Espresso boy that made our leather.
Indeed. Espresso based bushcraft.
Bushcraft, thank you. Jesus. Yeah. Commented that they're still holding up good. And I use one here. I should give the rest of the boys theirs so they can continue to use them on a regular basis on Sunday, but I do actually use mine on a regular basis. So yeah, it has held up. It's holded up real good.
Hold it up.
Anyway.
Nice. All right, Paul, what's your favorite out of the current selection?
I'm kind of scrolling over them right now, trying to decide that exact answer. And it might be the Reaper 3.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid choice.
The Deuce 2 is better than the Deuce 3, in my opinion, and they don't have the Deuce 2 up anymore. The Deuce 2 was better than the Deuce 1 as well, in my opinion. The Deuce 2 was...
Where's
the Reaper 3 is a Naginata or a Nagamaki. It's on steroids. It's very similar to my Cold Steel Nodachi.
That's kind of what I'm digging about it.
Which the Cold...
Sorry,
I was going to say Cold Steel calls it a Nodachi. It is not, but we'll continue on with that. Anyway, so...
the Captain is also kind of neat.
Okay, so... I didn't fully appreciate cutlasses and sabers for a long time. It took me a long time to warm up to them. And then I watched some like world-class saber fighting and things like that. And it really opened my eyes to how fantastic those blades actually are.
I may or may not.
Still not my number one choice, but yeah, I can appreciate being swashbuckling with this in a zombie apocalypse.
There's a couple very specific English sabers from the 1800s that if I could have in my collection, I would be a very happy man.
There's a very particular kind of spadroon that if I could have.
Yeah.
I honestly, mine might actually be the Decaptain. The saber, not the companion. Although, one in each hand would actually be pretty fucking excellent.
Why do you think they call it a companion?
Exactly. But if I had to pick just one, obviously the longer of the two. Again, heavy fencing background. It's hard for me to gravitate to much else, although the spit is just this nasty short spear with a very long blade, and there's something
about the Assegai looking one? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it sure is. God, they're so cool.
This is fucking cool.
It's just awesome. The Captain Saber, though, I think wins out. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Anyone who happens, Ben is definitely online. I was about to mention anyone who wants to jump onto zombietools.net because they play the .net game just to mess with you a little bit. Tell us what your favorites are in the comments. We've been scrolling up and down for sure. For smaller knives, even the Silas, as far as a camp knife, things like that type of thing. Even the Tato. It would be a cool camp knife. Little
Tato.
You're allowed to get away with it, So
right in the tape.
Actually,
the Parabellum for a big Camp 10 looking like Dick Richards was talking about a recurve. The Parabellum has got sweet. The Vacra is what put them on the map. Their slogan is literally a fistful of fuck yeah. And that is still the slogan for the Vacra, I think. Yeah, they took away the slogans.
Yeah, they sure did.
Oh, zombie tools.
I was hoping there might be mouse over text where it shows you, but unfortunately not.
Do they have the ultimate weapons still? They don't.
Nope.
Oh, I'm so disappointed
that
in
was
you.
Although,
sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Are you talking about the way they used to have the weapons lined up?
Yes.
Yep. They did away with that, unfortunately.
Okay, so I just noticed some other things though. That's kind of cool. The
care and feeding section.
No, the extras.
Oh, okay.
Care and feeding is awfully awesome, but the extras are worth talking about.
Ooh, hopper finish, raw satin finish,
and of course, finish. Black Frost wants an axe. Of course, you got
an
axe. Yeah, we've talked several times about zombie tools and how much he wants an axe out of them. And yeah, even the Kraken is freaking awesome. Like it's
I
like
don't.
the satin
And
finish.
you bet Ben is talking about their finishing, the copper finish, the raw finish, the satin finish. Like, yeah, boys, the splatter finish even.
I just gotta say, I don't hate zombies. I just love killing them. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that needs to be a T-shirt. I hope it becomes
I
a
was
T-shirt
gonna
one
say,
day.
I wish that was a T-shirt because it's just a sticker right now. But that
The,
copper finish, that is the most interesting looking one out of the bunch, and I have
although
to
if you
say,
scroll down on that page too with the copper finish, they do have the T-shirt with the fistful of with the picture of the.
where did I put that?
Oh, they have beer cozies with that saying on it too. I might have to get myself a beer cozy when I order a sword. So
Fistful of fuck, yeah, that's awesome.
anyway, government mandated break. I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys.
Sounds good. There's some cool shit. Let's see if the comments have filled up with anyone talking about what they want us to talk about.
They all seem to like them all.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a pretty. Sorry.
The satin finish. I really like that satin finish on there.
The full satin or the raw satin?
Full satin.
Yeah, that is not bad. It's bright, comparatively speaking, to the regular like acid sort of.
Can I be honest and say the only thing that I don't like about zombie tools is their leather wrap?
It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's not necessary to keep the aluminum in location. By the way, their scales are always like full forged and then ground, I think, aluminum, which is just interesting in and of itself. But they are pinned in place. You could remove the leather wrapping, but I would personally keep it there just for the grip.
I don't want to remove it. My issue is that I feel like because it's a wrap around the handle, it's going to eventually come loose itself.
I could see that happening for sure. Maybe a bit of epoxy would fix. Like just do like a light, like a what am I trying to say?
Butter
Like
your bread?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. Ben was saying between the zakasushi, or the apokatana. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get you. I'm not unopposed to those ones. And katanas and wakizashis, down on for sure. Down on.
My favorite. Oh,
I was just gonna say, like, it's just I don't know. There's a lot of things I would probably pick up before a katana and a wakizashi. So.
I think I agree with you on that point. Now, in terms of the smaller options that they offer, I actually really like the look of the Silas. Yeah, the Silas. That would probably that's probably the one I would go for out of the bunch. But I mean, the Rat Bastard's adorable, but
okay, and for the longest time as well, I've always had a fondness for the Difos, the two-handed gladius. United Cutlery did a terrible job trying to replicate it when Zombie Tools actually released it. United Cutlery released it the following year, and you could tell it was just trying to copy, and they did a bullshit job of it. And that's one of the ones where I've seen a lot of videos of beating the crap out of the Difos, and that would be fun.
Yep. They're not messing around with their material selection either. Like, I think everything they make is the same steel, 5160.
Yeah, and they're actually aluminum handles with leather wraps over top of the aluminum.
We did mention,
cool.
For sure.
Yeah, I was bitching about the fact that I don't like the wrap job.
You can see it more clearly here, although it is still kind of faint. There are two pins, one right before and one right after the wrap on the handle. I don't recall if it's steel pins or if it's aluminum pins. I'm pretty sure it's going to be steel, just so it doesn't shear on the inside of the hole of the where it goes through the blade tang. But it is still secure, even if you wanted to do your own custom wrap job, which honestly might not look half bad.
Yeah.
I was actually not disappointed with their leather when I played. I played with 3 different Zombie Tools now at this point, and it wasn't super thin. I think that was the big thing, is it wasn't plasticky looking and it wasn't thin. It was still thick enough that it gave you a decent cushy grip or whatever.
Yeah.
They could probably refine it a little bit, but I think the whole thing with zombie tools is it's necessarily refined, right? So
100%. My issue with it is I feel like in use, that wrap is going to start to come loose.
I don't know. I haven't seen any long-term stuff on zombie tools.
Yeah.
But
And I hope that they figured out a way to do it in a way that doesn't do that, because it definitely has the right feel, that kind of apocalyptic. I had this strip of leather. This is what I needed to do.
I'm pretty sure Cal has chopped wood with his reaver cleaver. So I don't know what kind of long-term use and blah, blah, blah. But the next time he's in the shop, you might be able to ask him. Because, I think he took it camping just for the fun of it. And he was at a campsite, kind of like what I do with the girlfriend and her daughter and whatever type of thing. And while you're at a campsite, you might as well bring out some toys. And I think he was chopping wood with a reaver cleaver, if I remember correctly. So
I don't hate the Legionnaire either. It reminds me a lot of the APOC broadsword.
I would say between the Difos and the Legionnaire, I kind of like the Legionnaire more, but strictly obviously as a one-handed. But even aesthetically, I think I don't know. I think I like the Legionnaire a little bit more.
I think the Difost reminds me of what Russell Crowe in The Gladiator should have had, because that is the epic movie sword that's just killing tigers and dudes with pitchforks.
Killing tigers.
Yeah. There you go, PETA.
Yeah, hashtag killing tigers.
Slinging hamsters. Yeah.
Not at the tigers, hopefully.
The Legionnaire is a cool little sword. Like I said, I think
like
you can pick one and I think you'd be happy with it. They made, and it's not on here, I don't know what the name of the knife was, but they did a limited run of a knife that had 80 CRV2.
Nice.
Very cool.
And it was like a little belt knife. I'm gonna see if I can find it here.
So 80 CRV2, still very stupid tough. Not quite as tough as 5160, but better edge holding. That's generally where that one sits.
Ben just commented in chat about the wait times. The lead time on getting a knife from these guys is 26 to 30 weeks.
3 boys in Montana that make shit. So
I'm not hating. I'm just
Jared Kahn, thanks for joining us, brother. I gave you a shout out at the beginning of the night. Thanks for the blue barrel spacers. They were really handy in trading for black barrel spacers. And we're good to go. So so if you type in Zombie Tools Bush Liquor.
All right.
Yes, please.
And also, apparently, they had another knife called the FUK, which stands for Field Utility Knife. But the Bush Liquor was the one I remember, and it's a good-looking knife.
The images.
I
Okay.
appreciate that. You went to match.
They call it the little fuck. That's awesome. Like LILFUK. Aw, that's amazing. And the other one, there it is, the Bush Liquor. I can see why you like the Bush Liquor.
That is straight utility all day long.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and actually, they also have one called the Tokyo Toothpick. It's straight up Quaking. It's a fixed bladed Quaking. It's an Obaki.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
That Bush Liquor is a lot of JX6, eh?
Yeah, a little bit of JX6. Hang on. I got a fancy collection here.
I don't have any beer left.
Dude, I forgot about this thing. Fuck, I was so mad I couldn't buy one. Yeah.
What would you take, 154 CM or CPM 154 or 80 CRV2?
Ooh, if it's
that's right.
If it's
JX6 or Bush Liquor.
If I'm beating the shit out of it, 80 CRV2. If I want refined edge, like a really nice refined edge, CPM 154. Yeah.
But it's in that little blade, so how much are you going to beat the piss out of it?
Yeah. That's right.
You guys figure it out. I just threw out the question while we're looking at the FUK. Oh, it's a toothpick.
I wanted JX6.
Oh, sorry. I was jumping around a little bit.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
I do like the little fucker though.
Yeah.
I think I may have
Yeah,
added a
they're all
couple extra
nice.
letters to their name, but
I think you did, but that's okay.
And I'm not sure who
there's
threw it out there right off the bat, but we got a thumbs down while we're still live. I think that's a first.
Oh.
But
Oh, no.
I assume it was Jared.
It is what it is. It's It's
We may
Fisk.
have-
He just came in and gave us a thumbs down and then left again.
It's okay. YouTube is hiding the thumbs down from the public now, so we don't need to worry about it.
I think that's the first time that's actually happened. It's good stuff.
Awesome.
Jared, you can't unsubscribe.
You're not allowed.
I've got you by your blue barrel spacers now. I mean,
That came off oddly sexual, but that's okay.
It is what it is, as that random dude said the other day.
What did you say, Max?
Oh, I'm off looking at the wrong thing now.
That's too funny. Anyway, so Zombie Tools has some cool shit.
If you're going to wait for them, that's the big thing. Like it was said, what was it? 30 weeks? 26 to 30 weeks? That's a long wait time. Now, for the amount of money you're paying, maybe you're okay waiting that long for something you don't really need on a day-to-day basis.
I don't know, man. Some of these blades, like I said, the FUK or the toothpick, or even for camping, like I said, the Silas, the Felon, the Tainto,
the Silas.
I guarantee Black Frost would beat the crap out of his axe while we were camping. He would take nothing but a Traumahawk.
Yeah.
Okay, but the Traumahawk is pretty goddamn cool, though. I think
we didn't talk about their axes, but they chop a car hood in half with some of that shit.
Yeah.
I literally cannot stop giggling at Tainto.
They don't have the 2-bit Betty anymore either.
Huh.
No.
You might want to look that one up too. It's good. It's a good
Kraken
time.
The biggest of the bunch? It looks like it's a two-hander.
The Kraken is a two-hander. It's like my Cold Steel Viking. Well, not quite my Cold Steel Viking axe. Probably a Hanwei bearded and or Viking axe. It's about that size.
Okay.
So this is the 2-bit Betty.
The Vakra Kukri would be good for camping too, Ben, for sure. That's what made these boys. That's what put them on the map, is their Kukri. Blade Magazine put it on their front cover and these boys exploded. And that was 15 years ago now. But yeah. The 2-bit Betty is a sweet knife or a sweet axe. And it was as big as the Kraken, but
every time somebody says 2-bit Betty, I want to add lamb to the end of it.
I know you do.
Bow, bow. Bow, 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 bow.
Fantastic.
Anyway.
Anyhow.
I'm not sorry at all.
They make some crazy shit.
Chopped out a tree with the Kraken. It's like,
yeah. Who knew? Half the people that are coming to watch this, we're going to have a Buck Paradigm, and the other half we're going to have crazy Zombie Tool boys from Missoula, Montana.
Because, those things make sense.
Yes,
together.
we're aiming for the exact same demographic in our niche market, for sure.
Do they still give beer discounts?
I don't know. I don't know if they straight up said beer discounts. I think they were.
I thought they took trade.
Something about. Yeah.
It was years ago when I remember that being
I was
a thing.
Gonna say, I think they need money more than beer these days.
Well, and I mean, just to round it all out, I don't know if you guys talked about like the about and the about us. Their final, I just clicked on it and read the final sentence. We are an amazing, fortunate bunch of assholes to be doing what we're doing. We try to keep that in mind every day and to remember that it's only possible with your ongoing support. There you go. So
can appreciate that.
Amazing,
Sorry, Paul,
amazingly fortunate bunch of assholes is a good way to sum it up.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Paul?
I was trying to remember which knife they used to do their epic tall boy chops that they were doing. Was it 2 or 3 years ago?
It was the Pak Katana, I think. It was their samurai sword.
Okay.
And I think it was the old version of the Pak Katana, because this is the second gen that has the Suba. The first gen didn't have a Suba on it.
I said tall boy, but I should have said king can. Like they were the big boys, right?
Yeah, because they tried it with normal cans and they missed a bunch of them. And they said, hey, wait a second, if we just do it with tall boys. And they just drank all the beer and filled them up with water and then did 24 of them or something. It was impressive. They curved them around like 3 tables.
Didn't they end up doing like one a day until? Didn't they start off with a lower number? And
They
build
did
up?
a lower number, but I don't think it was one a day. I think they jumped like 6, 12, 24, blah,
Okay.
blah, blah type of. Yeah. So. But yes, and then the Deuce 2 was the one that they chopped the car hood in half with.
The Deuce 2. Yeah.
And
that
they
was-
stood
that's nice.
and they stood on it with 2 guys standing in the middle of 2 cinder blocks, and it was flexing and bouncing on them. And I'm like, you guys are going to cut yourself.
So you chop off a leg.
And then they did the cold steel bend test with a pipe on the handle, and they bent the handle and they got it to like a 90 degree. It was 75 to 90 degrees, somewhere in there. And they did not have the proper equipment, and they were lifting the table off of the ground with the bend on the flex, and the table was flat, and someone had to like hold the like table down as they were
Yeah.
continuing. It was safety first for sure in that.
And
What's-
looking
what's-
at the bent blade.
What's that gif? It's an OSHA intensifies, but it's shaking all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. But if
And then I
recall-
think they started streaming something about solid proof, but
yeah.
good video. It's an old YouTube video. Look it up. It's good stuff. Deuce 2, zombie tools.
They did some cool shit.
Indeed.
Oh.
Can we talk about the fact that I think God is punishing me for flicking my knives open in stupid ways?
Is that why he's punishing you?
I mean,
Among other reasons.
yeah. I realized today I was actually gonna take a picture of my artisan Centauri today, and I realized that the way that I like to flick it open hurts right now because I appear to have given myself carpal tunnel or something like that,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
and I think it's from ring flinking that knife.
That's what triggered it before you actually injured it was, yeah.
Honestly, probably not, but it made me giggle at the idea that I was being punished for opening knives
It's
like a bull
That's enough.
Yeah.
Stop.
You stop that.
Stop with the pinkies up. I mean, seriously. It's
Gotta take a closer look at the tainto.
the
Before we
Spidey
go
flick deserves to be his first finger or second flinger. I don't know. Sure.
Just in case you
Truman
thought-
Fuber.
Ruben Fruber. But just in case you thought their shrubas were just little discs cut out of flat steel, they actually bothered to make them look nice. There's a close up on the tainto. I'm not sure if it would have loaded for you guys yet.
Yeah.
Probably any second now. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Is it a thing or is it like a splatter?
It
I
looks
think
like a
it's a
couple
splatter.
leaves on a, well, it looks like almost like kind of a couple leaves on a whatever
hard-
type of thing, right?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to tell. It looks like a splatter to me. Could be leaves, but if it is a spatter, it definitely matches the rest of the aesthetic of the build.
100%.
So, yeah, that's cool.
Good for them. Good for them.
That's the Tainto in hand, eh? That's
Yeah.
way bigger than I was
Yeah, the
expecting.
Epoch Katana actually has a better picture of the Suber. Wow, I am
Suber.
good with my speech tonight. Yeah,
Ruben Fruber and
Um,
Struber.
yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
definitely
there's
just
a,
a splatter pattern.
yeah, there's the photo there. It'll load for you and Paul in just a moment. I think.
Lies. Slander.
Well, you know,
Oh, there you go.
that's cool, Phil.
I do like the fact that it's the zombie tools like brackets.
The bracketing, yeah, that's a nice touch for sure.
So,
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice.
we'll have to tag those boys in our Instagram post this week as far as talking about them and the credit. Like, cheers, straight up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had chops with some beer cans and car hoods, and they did a hockey. What's the spinny hockey game that they have where you would like?
Table.
Is it just
hockey?
called table hockey?
I think it is.
Yeah,
table
yeah,
hockey, yeah.
Okay, yeah. They chopped one of those in half too. It was a good time. But
I remember that video, and I'm just thinking, why? Oh, yeah.
They used to play that table
Oh.
hockey all the time.
Was it a foosball table that they did?
No, I think it was a table hockey table. I'm going to say table again.
Makes sense for Montana, right? Like it's
The old table hockey table.
Mhm.
Table.
So, anyway,
that's cool.
I think that pretty much sums us up for the evening.
I think it does, yeah.
Indeed.
Bye. No.
way to advertise, Joe. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's my favorite. Just fade to black.
How close to 1,000?
On Instagram,
Yeah.
we are like 15 away.
15. All right.
Yeah.
Like and share some of our pictures. Sweet mahogany. Like collaborate on that stuff. It's all good. Yeah. Throw us your EDC on Instagram and tag us. We'll collaborate on that too. There's this new collaboration thing on it. If you tag us, we probably will and post what people are carrying and stuff. So yeah. New way for us to grow. We might as well. We've been playing around with it. So
yeah, the collaboration that you did today was interesting. That I was able to like, yes, and it came to my page.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
So nippy stuff.
So follow us on Instagram, you fuckers.
Yeah. Also, Patreon, 2 or 3 guys. We still haven't done shit about the Christmas thing. Yeah, just like many Christmas presents, we're waiting until Christmas Eve. No, just something coming down the pipe. We appreciate your support. Yeah, we got a big thank you for you guys, and it's going to be coming up soon here. So hang on. And yeah, continue to subscribe to us. Anyone else who wants to will probably get in on some cool stuff that we got planned. So yeah.
Absolutely.
We should probably thank the Cutting Edge for letting us borrow the Paradigm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Where they are now available for purchase, following our glowing review.
Canuck Bucks. Yeah. And bald eagle parts, you know.
At least a third.
Mm-hmm. I think that covers your shipping costs at the very least. Like
I don't know if I get a dead bald eagle third in my mailbox, I'm not gonna be super happy. Like,
are they gonna pack it with ice?
No, just in the cardboard box inside a Ziploc.
And for the record, let's just hold out on the website type of action because they're not actually up yet, but they will be soon. It's coming soon to the Cutting Edge website. Yeah.
Let's go yell at the web guy.
Christmas is coming, man. We busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, guys. Yeah. Just like an anvil through a barn, I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
That's terrifying. I am the Iron Joe.
And I'm XL.ca.
Thanks again for joining, guys. See you next week.
Like Terry Crews from Brooklyn Nine-Nine just smashing through a wall. Boom, Kool-Aid Man styles. That's what you got. Just like an anvil.
I'm gonna start a band. Anvil through a barn door.
Mm-hmm. How many anvils you got? How many barns you got?